Welcome to the PowerPoint show on MGD TV, and my name is Jacob Junior Munghesi. For the first time we have had this show on a Friday. We'd never had it on a Friday, and we decided this time around to do it because we felt we couldn't dodge having it. It was really necessary and called for. So for many days we've been here without Buwembo Habib, and this time round he was like, you know what, we got to do this because people really have been missing him, and we said no, we cannot let the week go without having a Buwembo because a lot of things are going on, you know, in the country. What is trending currently is the sanctions that were put on the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, Anita Among, early this week, and we also had the celebrations of the Labor Day also this very week, where the President of the Republic of Uganda was in Fort Portal for the celebrations. Also in the same week, we had the National Unity Platform launching their nationwide registration drive that is to take place all over the country, and it started with a conference that had its registrars being trained on how they're going to be doing it. Also in the same week, today being a Friday, Friday also there's the journalists, the journalists are celebrating the World Press Freedom Day, and they are gathering at Makerere and also at Speak Resort. So journalists are celebrating, and as a journalist I want to say it's a big congratulations to all the journalists, and I say that wherever you are as a journalist, please stand as a journalist, do everything as a journalist, and forever you'll be a journalist. And I hope nothing will ever threaten us or make us step aside from doing what exactly we're supposed to execute as journalists. So without wasting your time, I want to let Buwembo Habib first greet us, and then we shall begin from there. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I would want to salute to everyone who is watching us.
Yeah.
And I also want to appreciate you. You give us courage to keep on doing this kind of work of advocating for one, social justice. You know, I'm a social justice activist.
Yeah.
And also advocating for democracy, the rule of law, as we have always been trying to put it right, that a country without a rule of law, it is a mess. And what is happening in Uganda, you can really realize that there is a total mess.
I understand.
Just because of lacking the rule of law. So we keep on advocating for it. Buwembo Habibu has not been seen on this platform for the last 2 weeks, I think. And the reason was because we are engaged a lot with the party activities, as you said it in your introductory remarks.
And for us who have been following you up, so you enjoy, you need a suit, you're dancing, and like, oh, so this is the Buwembo is on this set here.
I had to enjoy some music on the wedding of my boss, Chairman Nyazi Mutuawatu. I am aware that there are voices calling him to contest for the Lord Mayorship of Kampala. Yes, for the first time, of course, he has never contested for the same position, but Kampala people, the residents of Kampala, have in fact organized themselves in a platform called Kampala Yafe. Kampala Yafe, aiming at organizing and agitating for the good leadership for Kampala.
Want it to be disbanded soon, because whenever they see such groupings, of course they...
of course, we hope for the best for it, and we are still talking to him to ensure that he accepts our call, and he announces his readiness to contest for the Lord Mayorship. So he had a wedding in the previous week, which was a fantastic one. The president himself attended the wedding. We were with him at the church, that is Vaga Cathedral Church, where they had to tie the knot that is Chairman Nyanzi, together with his wife Margarine. Yes.
Oh wow!
So on that day, I enjoyed the music, and that's how
we saw you enjoy it. We enjoyed that. We're like, let me hope this man doesn't forget what he's supposed to be doing.
No.
Okay.
We couldn't, because even on that very function, if you listened to all
the messages,
all the speeches, we are still on the line of duty. That is the duty of agitating for the change of the leadership of this country. I
understand. Wow. So as a believer, I would say partake of that anointing, because there's nothing on my finger yet. So I partake of that anointing of marriage. Now, Mr. Buwembo, I want to go directly to what has been happening in the week. Just like I said earlier on, we had the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament and other two former ministers being sanctioned by the UK government over on the basis of what they termed as corruption, that they were engaged in the misuse of the government funds, the money that was appropriated for the Mabati of Karamoja.
Yes.
That they engaged themselves in the taking of the answers that were not meant for them. And the speaker, of course, didn't survive it, and the other two former ministers. And the speaker has come out to give a lot of comments on that particular issue, plus other members of parliament who assume it was not worth the doing. They feel the UK government, what they did, has no basis, has no rightful basis.
You see, as an activist who has always been on the front line to fight down corruption, I have spent some days since the announcement was made celebrating. I've been celebrating these sanctions. To me, they are worthy, and we are calling for more of the same, or more which are more harsh than these sanctions so far put.
So I want you to first discuss it. How does it affect the country as a whole before we talk of now the Right Honourable Speaker as an individual?
Such sanctions comes in, that is after the local authorities whose duty it is to fight down corruption have failed. If you have been following the scandal of Mabati, we caused alarm, of course. We said, look, here are the thieves. The people have stolen the Kalamajong iron sheets. Where those officials, to them, they were like, it is not stealing. It was like a sharing. But if you search about the definition of theft, it is taking someone's thing, anything from someone without his consent or her consent. So the question is, did these officials have a consent from the Kalamajong? They did not. So to a common person like me, it is theft. So we said they have stolen the Mabati, and they should be brought to book. They should account. What happened? We saw the IGG trying to intervene, the DPP trying to intervene, and soon after, we received a letter. We saw a letter circulating on social media and other media platforms, being authored by the president, advising that, this may cause a threat to the government, so the DPP should not proceed with the prosecution of these people. Instead, he proposed that they will be punished, they will be dealt with politically. And of course, later on, we saw the DPP also dropping charges from the same people. And this implied that the local authorities had failed to bring those thieves to book. And of course, that's how we started agitating now for international intervention. And the part of the intervention are the sanctions that have been now put on some of those thieves. The sanctions, I've heard some people saying that they have no effect. But if you read the letter from the Foreign Minister of UK, the sanctions stated it clearly that immediately the Speaker Anita Among, the chief thief of the Iron Sheets, is not allowed to step a foot on the land of UK. So she's no longer qualifying for a visa to UK. Then secondly, it freezes any property or asset that belongs to any of those people that were on the list of the sanctioned people. But make matters worse, the sanctions do not only stop at them, but also extends to their relatives. So as we are speaking now, none of the relatives of Anita Among.
So you mean Honorable Magogo?
Magogo can no longer go to UK. I've heard the speaker herself saying, I own nothing in UK. And but you see, that is a naked lie. By the time the sanctions were issued, an inventory was made, and they realized that the speaker had some property in UK, and therefore, by the time they issued the sanctions, they knew that they would be hurting to her.
But the speaker even today was insisting that she doesn't have any property, not even an account in
Let
the
it
UK,
be that she doesn't.
She says she doesn't have even a postcard in
yes,
the UK.
let it be. But the sanctions goes ahead to bar her from any transaction with any company that belongs to UK, or a transaction with any company that deals with UK. In this regard, we saw the speaker buying, you remember when she donated a vehicle to the boyfriend, Magogo. What was the brand of that car? Wasn't it a Range Rover?
From?
Range Rovers are from UK. So these sanctions bars her even to own any product of UK. So we don't know how Magogo is to continue driving the Range Rover.
Could these sanctions be applying to maybe like her accessing any country that belongs to the Commonwealth?
It hasn't gone to that extent, but once they buy you from transacting with any company, any organization that is in dealing with UK, then I think it can go to that level whereby you will be maybe barred from accessing any country that belongs to Commonwealth.
But don't you think it is okay because now it's going to promote Bubu, buy Uganda, build Uganda, because now she'll have to use things. Any
Ugandan will be celebrating these sanctions. Those most who are interested in promoting Bubu, buy Uganda, build Uganda. And the advice we are giving today is that the likes of Anita today should also join us and advocate for one, good lords, because...
But they're always advocating for them.
No. They have always been stealing from the money being given to have good lords. So now they have to advocate for good lords. They have to advocate for better health system, because it is the same system that has to
and that she has done it, because even the hospital that she has constructed at her place, that she's giving free maternity services.
No. She just that is a business. She did a business. What is it that she's doing to ensure that Rubowa Hospital is constructed?
She told you that.
Besides the broking, the people who are going there.
No, but she said, I saw last time she said that the deputy Speaker of Parliament was sent there and already visited the place and they're waiting to bring a report to Parliament anytime.
You see, the hospital we are talking about is a hospital that that was launched to be constructed in 2018. And
before she was a speaker.
Before she was a speaker. And it was meant to be finished by 2020 to deal with the patients. To deal with the patients of COVID-19. Now we are already dealt with COVID. It is no longer a problem to the country. The hospital isn't yet there.
What if they're waiting for another epidemic?
2024. We are in 2024. Nobody is allowed even to inspect what is taking place
the speaker
at
went
the
there,
construction
the
of that
speaker.
hospital. So my point is, the speaker now has a duty to join the team that has always been advocating for a better health system. She has to join the likes of Honorable Senyonyi, also to raise arm that it is long overdue for that hospital to have started functioning. Yeah.
So you feel the sanctions are benefiting the country?
So much. The sanctions comes in as a warning, more so to those who haven't fallen into a trap of stealing. You know, once they learn that when you steal, that that action of yours will come with some harsh impacts. Then they have, of course, to refrain themselves from the acts. You see, the sanctions are not only restricted to travel bans and owning a property in the UK, but also not to possess a UK currency. So
as an individual.
Yes. Now the speaker Ntamong is not allowed to possess a pound. She's not allowed to carry out any transaction using pounds as a currency. That is how harsh the sanctions are. She can of course lie to the public that she's not in any way affected. She is not feeling the ban, but inside her she's dying.
She's saying
because remember, the same speaker already attracted sanctions from USA. She has USA sanctions. Now she has UK sanctions. She cannot transact with the dollar. She cannot transact with the pound. But she's stealing hugely from Uganda. And she has no capacity to store the huge monies she has stolen from Uganda in Ugandan currency. They have always been stealing Ugandan money and keeping it in either dollar or pounds. So now she has been put sanctions not to do any transaction with dollars. What is she to do?
She can do it through another person.
That's why, you know, the logic behind having the sanctions also affecting the relatives, is that to refrain you from now keeping this money with the relatives. And if she's to keep it with maybe a distant people from her. So the sanctions affects even the relatives. So she cannot choose amongst the relatives that you go and take control of my property, maybe in UK or in US. She cannot choose a relative to go and transact on her behalf. If she want to know how harsh and how effective these sanctions are, let her draw a picture from the former IGP, that is Kare Kaihura, who was sanctioned, who was issued sanctions from USA.
Yeah.
You know, Kaihura, as of today, cannot carry any transaction using USA currency, that is dollars. And you see how he has been affected.
I remember he came out and he said he had never had a dream of traveling to the US.
He has never had it.
And even speaker
but we have always been seeing them. Wherever they get any health problem, their first option to go to is either USA, UK, German.
Speaker himself, she already has a hospital now. Actually, she said she has an open visa to Buwembo and Bukelea.
Yes, so she can pretend to be okay. The last time I saw her at a hospital was at a time when she visited the Honorable Segedinya here in Zambia Hospital. Do you recall her statement? She was like, we have good hospitals. Myself, I had to give birth using the Ugandan hospitals. In your research, did she give birth from here?
I don't know.
They can only take pictures from our hospitals. But if a doctor instructs her to take a bed from the beds of the hospital, she can make alarm as if her throat is.
She's a VIP. What if the VIP wants therefore?
Yes, now that's what now they have to advocate for. The good, the better wards for them here. The better hospitals for them here. Not any more business of using the Ugandan money, the taxpayers' money to fly to Germany, to fly to UK, to fly to USA. So when they maybe they advocate for VVIP hospitals here, who knows? One day Buwembo can also be treated from the same hospital without taking a flight to abroad. That's where our celebration of these sanctions is.
Now, the Director of Communications of Parliament, Chris Obore, and other members of Parliament, plus other government officials came out to say that the reasons that the UK government gave for these sanctions had no justification, and they feel the justification could be the basis on the fact that the Speaker of Parliament influenced or played a big role in the enactment of the anti-homosexuality law, or the anti-homosexuality bill that was passed into a law after the session by the president. And your own president, Robert Chagulanyi, of course, came out and said they're not right, they're just using it as a weapon of fighting them as NUP party and those who come out to cry against the injustice of the country.
You see,
how true is that?
One, the sanction communication was so clear. It was issued out by through the provision of global anti-corruption sanctions. So, when they were issuing out sanctions, the statements were so clear. The sanctions are being issued out on the grounds of theft, stealing from the poor. And who are those poor ones? The Karamajong. We did not read anywhere that because it is because of the enactment of anti-homosexuality law. However, the big question still remains: did Amnita Among steal iron sheets or not?
And somebody will tell you no court in Uganda justified the theft that she stole.
The instance of now international sanctions is around the failure of local of Ugandan authorities acting.
And
you know, if the Ugandan authorities had acted, you wouldn't see international intervention. If the courts here were given space to act, if the police, if the IGG, the DPP, those institutions were allowed space to act, of course these people would be not, the Anita Among wouldn't be still presiding over the parliament. Anita Among would be in either Luzira Women Prison or Chitalia. or in any other
she
prison.
She never pleaded guilty of anything. Yes, the
she did. Where have you been? Anita Among pleaded guilty by an action of her carrying the Karamajong iron sheets and retrieving them back.
Which was an accusation that was not justified in court.
Did you see her carrying back the iron sheets?
That wasn't proof enough.
Did you see how he did not?
No, you say no. You're the very person who
So
say
the one who is found with exhibits.
So you don't believe.
Criminal.
So you don't believe in the country's
Anita Among came out in a broad daylight and acknowledged that indeed she received the iron sheets, and he drove them to Kedia. And when she was forced to retrieve the iron sheets, she was seen carrying back the iron sheets. So that enough was an evidence, proof that indeed she had stolen the iron sheets. Because she clearly knew that the iron sheets did not belong to Bukedia people, but Kalamajong people. And Bukedia is not part of Karamajong, of Kalamoja. You get it? So, by the definition that if you take something from anybody without his consent, is a theft, then her actions...
don't you think it's just mere indictment on maybe the parliament of Uganda and perhaps the sovereignty of the country, that now these Western countries, all the superpowers in quotes, now use that chance, the opportunity that they have, that since they are funders of some of our projects, now they should come in and...
No. You see, all the authorities that are intervening today, we are signatories to some of their treaties. We are signatory to maybe, for example, UN treaty.
Yes.
We are signatory to EU treaty.
Yes.
We are signatory to Commonwealth treaty.
Yeah.
And those organizations have put some checks and balances measures in place, and we abided to them, to all of them. That's why today, wherever they feel like the local authorities have not done enough or have been failed to do enough, they intervene. So by the time we signed those treaties, we knew that at any time these treaties will have an effect on our lives. You get it?
Yeah.
So we cannot, we can't be the same people who have been enjoying the goodies from those same organizations, and the same people now crying for the harshness that has come from those organizations. We must be ready to enjoy the goodies and the harshness from the same organizations.
Wow.
So as citizens of the country, the taxpayers whose money have always been robbed, have always been stolen, have always been misused, we celebrate the intervention of these countries.
So before we go for the break, your president threatened that there are many people still in the pipeline.
Yes.
Could you be knowing any? Maybe you let us know.
No, there is had over 20 ministers. That's why Museveni had to trash in, because he knew that if they were all to be brought to book, maybe it could have destabilized his government. Among us was the vice president.
Yeah, true.
Arupo. Then the minister for finance.
Even the prime minister.
Kasaija. In fact, Kasaija acknowledged by saying that I saw the iron sheets all flying into my compound. How can iron sheets fly into the compound? Then the prime minister, and that is Nabanja. The iron sheets were caught in the shop of her mother, up for sale. And the iron sheets had blands, a bland
from the
office of prime minister to from the relief office, I think.
Yeah, they put the OPM, office of prime minister.
Prime minister relief to Karamoja. So she also came out to acknowledge and apologize to the public. Of recently, she was like cautioning one of our own Honorable Joel Senyon, that please, can you stop reminding me that I saw the iron sheets? Because we settled everything. So, she was on the list. That is the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja. We remember Kadaga, the Minister for East African Affairs. She was on the list. Then we had on the list, there were so many. A list of about 20 people, the Lugorobis, the Nadutus, the Kidutus. So there were so many. So some of us, we still call for the same UK government to go ahead and sanction all those who appeared on the list of the Mabati scandal. Okay. And those who have also appeared in other scandals should also be sanctioned. Not only those who indulged themselves in the Mabati scandal. There are so many other scandals. The Rubawa scandal. This Minister of Health, Acheng, she should also be issued the sanctions of that kind. You remember who managed the national COVID something, the funds which were collected to reach out people from COVID effects. You remember how we collected our monies, a lot of money, to extend food and other relief items to the people who were affected during the time of COVID. And in return, they bought vehicles. Where are the vehicles? What was the purpose of vehicles at that time? You know, all that is corruption. Because corruption does not only stop at taking physical items, but also playing with people's minds. You say we are collecting items for the relief of patients, and let alone you twist around and you buy vehicles. That is corruption. So we call upon those developed countries to investigate more scandals and sanction and issue out more sanctions to more government officials in Uganda.
Okay, that is Habib Buwembo's plea to the Western countries, because they're the most developed countries, the UKs and the USs too. His plea that they make this sanction is balanced. By
yes, they should also help to convince more other countries in their regions to issue out more sanctions. Because if Anita is still bragging that I own nothing in UK, how I wish that she receives other sanctions from Sweden, she receives other sanctions from Germany, so that they can only be caged here, and we see how they they are to enjoy all the monies that they have stolen from Uganda. If that is done, maybe, hopefully, we can see them doing investments here. If you steal from Uganda and you invest in Uganda, maybe somehow, somewhere, the taxpayer can indirectly benefit.
So that is Habib Buwembo's plea. However, the Speaker of Parliament is free to use Zimbabwe's new currency, the ZIGs. I understand they had the Zimbabwean dollar that I saw a note of over $50 million. Like, wow. But of course, I've introduced a new currency. So Speaker is free to also
what of the cosmetics
in the ZIGs. So I beg
no, you see, I've had someone say that she has been working hard to make herself a Muzungu.
No, okay.
So we expected her soon to be joining the Bazungu, but the Bazungus have said, no, we don't want you here. So she should now find a way of retrieving her original.
So Habib Buwembo has no proof about that. But
no. What proof do you want?
So yeah, I think he'll bring proof in the second segment. Otherwise, that's clear, and we expect you in the second segment of this show. You're still the PowerPoint show here on MGD TV, and my name is Jacob Junior Munghesi. I'm still with Habib Buwembo, discussing a lot of issues. And in the second segment, of course, I will bring you the issue of the Labor Day. We had the celebrations in Fort Portal, and the president made a speech, and he made a certain statement and said the problem with Ugandans is not unemployment. The problem of unemployment is the lack of vision. How true is that? That's what we shall be discussing in the second segment. And as also we speak about the NUP's launch of their registration drive. So after the break, I get you.
Welcome to MGD Media, where our state-of-the-art studios are based. We offer a variety of media services and production, which include music production, video production, photography, online marketing, printing of all sorts of documents. We also offer space to produce talk shows using our latest technology at affordable prices. Please come to our studios and take advantage of our quality and amazing services. We are located in Kabaragala Junction, behind Equity Bank, along Senyonga Road, on Charisimbazila Plaza. For more information, please contact us on 0700 53 5601. MGD Media, connecting communities.
Come back from that short break, and you're still with me, Jacob Junior Munghesi, here on the PowerPoint show at MGD TV. Thanks, our viewers are always following up, and I want to appreciate Council Sam, Ivan, Bernard, Enoch, and all the rest are always following up, and those who always keep checking on me and inquiring on how everything is moving. Those who keep telling me what they expect from the coming shows. Otherwise, I'm still with Habib Buwembo, and in our first segment, we're discussing about the sanctions that were placed on the Right Honorable Speaker Anita Among and the other two former ministers, Chitutu and Gitutu. And we said in the second segment, we will be bring you more of what the NUP launched in their...
before the NUP launch,
yes,
I want to remind you that I'm still battling with a case in courts where Anita Among opened up a charge against me of spreading malicious information. And which information did I spread? That I called her the Kalamajong iron sheet thief. For all along, she has been still denying that that information is spread to her. But these sanctions today which have come in, they have helped to have to spreading the information internationally. So it is no longer Buwembo spreading the information. Now the international community has also come on board to spread the same information upon an evidence that is in our hands. We might have credible evidence that indeed Anita Among stole the Karamajong iron sheets. And also from the report that was issued out from the office of the IGG, Anita Among was amongst the people who were implicated. Soon after, we saw Anita Among herself carrying the iron sheets from Karamajong, from Bukedia, back to the office of Prime Minister, to the stores. And these iron sheets are the ones which she had stolen for in that line. So the case is still ongoing, and we are going back for proceedings on 9th May of this year at the City Hall Court. And I'm about also to visit the UK Embassy to apply for for part of the evidence which they relied on to issue out the sanctions, so that I can use the same evidence to be part of my evidence in that very court, to verify that indeed I have never spread the malicious information, but only the truth.
So on 9th May,
yes,
which is next week, you'll be back at City Hall Court.
Yeah.
Okay, so away from that, of course, we shall be following up that case to see what will come out of the court. But then we also promised that we'll be delving into the launch of the NUP nationwide registration drive that was launched earlier this week by their president, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and they are set to have their members registered across the whole country. And I wanted to know from you, as a member of NUP, you have always come out to allege that whenever people come out to declare publicly or have any sign that they belong to the National Unity Platform, they have always fallen victim of abduction and other mistreatments by the regime. And I want to know how sure or secure is the process that you launched earlier this week, and what you expect from it.
Yes, it has been our duty to go through around the country, one, mobilizing the population to join us in NUP. Second, to preach to the nation, to the population, that it is our right to associate. It is our constitutional right. So we shouldn't be intimidated, much as the intimidation is still ongoing, but empowering people with that knowledge that it is their right to associate with any political organization of their choice is so important. Once you keep someone with the knowledge, with information, with that confidence, of course they develop some courage and determination. And as we are speaking now, we are so confident that a large section of the population is determined and encouraged not to shun away from what belongs to them. And they are ready to register with any political organization of their choice as members. This very week, we had a launching of the process of registering our people into members. That is part of our constitutional mandate, because the constitutional duty of any political organization is to organize the population, organize its members, train the members for leadership, then front them for that very what? To take over the leadership. The exercise has kick-started and it is moving on smoothly. It started with a 2-day workshop of training the registrars and focal persons, and those are the people who are going to help in building and in the registration exercise, and which we launched.
The structuring of your party?
Of course, building the structures. And of course, you know, the structures have gotten also a great work in as far as organizing the party is concerned. Yes. Before we register, we talk about the members who are going to register. We need to know that every political party has gotten about 4 categories of people. We have the so-called fans. These are the who will come in to chant, to jubilate your achievements, who will always support your work from a distance. Those are fans. But we have also a category of membership or members. The members are those who have who have elevated from the other side of funds. Go ahead to buy party membership cards, register with the political party, and then become a member. Those people have some benefits from the political party. Part of the benefits is that you have a right to vote in the political party voting processes, where you have a right to contest as a leader. So it is he who is not a member has no right to come and contest for any position in the political party. They are only members who have that right. So the process we are now going, we are conducting is to have a scoop of the members who have the right to vote and to be voted. Then we have a category of well-wishers. There are those who wish you well. They do not sabotage your programs. They don't also come to participate into your programs. But from a distance, they are like, what they are doing is good, and we wish them well. Then we have also a category of leaders. The leaders are developed from the membership. So the process we are now conducting is a process of organizing membership. After having organized the membership, then we shall go to that stage of building the leaders. Those are the structures of the party. We have always been criticized by some people amongst our own. We've heard voices from the likes of Wanika, Abedi, saying that the party lacks structures.
True.
Yes, we shouldn't forget that this is a youngest political party in the country. It was formed a few months to the general elections of 2021. And after its formulation, it faced a lot of legal challenges, battles. You remember some people running to court, claiming that it was the political party in UP was illegally registered.
And I understand currently again Chivalama is in court during your president.
No. Now they are just in political gimmicks. They have no serious matters to raise, because all the allegations they are putting today were settled down by courts.
Of course, he says the party is, the money it is receiving, the funding is receiving from the Electoral Commission, and
yeah,
he says the money you're receiving from the Electoral Commission is unlawful because you're operating using what you operating with almost no constitution as a party.
But you see, we have a constitution. There is no any
political
organization.
You're using the wrong constitution.
There is no any political organization that can be registered by the Electoral Commission when it has not presented its constitution.
Of course,
recently we amended the constitution to accommodate the building of structures we launched of recent.
But I'm told the constitution that you're talking about has not been assented to by the Electoral Commission, and it has to fully operate when
but
it's given the go-ahead by the Electoral Commission.
When we amended the constitution, it was presented to EC. And it is EC, it is the Electoral Commission that has been delaying our processes of building the structures when it was still like scrutinizing our amended constitution for approval. And after Electoral Commission having approved our amended constitution, it got gazetted. And before you gazette, you have also some steps you have to undertake. One of the steps is publishing the intention of having your constitution gazetted through one of the known printing media, which we did. And the purpose of publication is to attract any person who has issues to do with the gazetting of that constitution. In this case,
to come out
and either claim, raise his claim or complaint. Chibalama and the colleagues you are talking about never raised up. And the days given by the law, I think they are 30 days, or I don't recall, but there is a period set that is given to attract such complaints or claims. There was no any complaint that was attracted. So the constitution, the amended constitution, got gazetted. As we are speaking now, it is already gazetted. So there is no way someone can say the Electoral Commission never approved the NUP constitution. If it was never approved, it couldn't have been gazetted in a national gazette.
Okay.
Yes.
So somebody would ask, do you think this particular drive that you have launched will help you avoid what somebody would term as the political mess that you made when you had just unveiled the party, where we saw members joining the party at the last moment, turning from the majority were coming from the DP, Democratic Party, and joining your NUP, and they were given cards at a time when they were supposed to immediately go and contest in their areas. Do you think doing this at such a time will help solve the challenges or the problems that came out of what happened when you just unveiled the party?
There is enough time for this activity, because if the worries are about to those who are to contest in the coming generation, there is enough time between now and the next generation. It's a period of over a year. So if we registered members today, we have enough time to scrutinize them, to have them trained about the values, the principles, and the vision of the party. And through that process of training, we shall have also identified who are those that have really understood the training, have acquired that knowledge,
and believed the DNA of NUP,
and they also believed in the training, and acquired the DNA, as you are saying, to avoid such occurrences where you pick someone, issue out a ticket to him, goes and contests, wins on your ticket, and after he does what is in contrary to your values. You've had wrangles when we've been in wrangles with our leaders. The recent case is a case of Mpuga, where he acquired about 500 million shillings in a bribery. And the NUP as a political party is anti-corruption. It is promoting for anti-corruption, for a zero tolerance of corruption. So the purpose of our trainings is to avoid such disappointments. So I believe we have enough time to do that.
Last time when they were announcing your registrars, your Secretary General was saying you registered, or you had over 140 something registrars, and we have more districts than that in the country. Should we say some districts are not represented?
He said that we have,
because the number of registrars that they announced, he was like you had over 140 something registrars.
No, we had 340 something registrars who were trained.
Okay.
And the districts are about 146, I think.
I thought you...
Yes, we have had about like 300 plus.
Okay.
Yes.
So should we say that all districts were represented?
All districts were represented. All constituencies were represented. So at every constituency we have a registrar, we have a focal person. So all of them were represented.
So is it a justification that NUP has now spread to all parts of the country, or
in fact,
just using it as a political mirror?
The reason of the instance of the 2 days workshop was to, one, train those registrars and focal persons so that they can go and train their lower registrars, because we have registrars at every parish. We have a registrar at every village. So if you are talking of a number of 300, that was just a small number picked from the so many. Yes. Those who have been saying that NUP lacks structure, they shouldn't forget that the president of NUP alerted this country that we are to operate in a labadaba style. Those, for example, recently the president was in Bujiri. Did you see him?
When he went for a tournament?
When he went for a tournament. Did you see the crowds coming to welcome him? Do you think that those crowds just smelt his coming? There was a network.
They could be the fans that you're talking about.
Yes, but do you think that someone was in his garden digging and he saw the president waving and he came running to him? There was a clandestine work being done, and the network was spreading the information that at this time, on this day, the president is coming to close the tournament. And the venue was communicated. So that's how you saw the numbers growing and welcoming the president. Okay. When we had the national mobilization tour, did you see any part of the country where we went and there were no people welcoming the leaders? Everywhere we go, everywhere we went, you saw huge numbers being mobilized. Who was in charge of the mobilization? Did you hear us maybe making announcements on the radios or on TVs? No, we used the networks. So believe that at every village, at every parish, at every constituency, at every sub-county, at every district, we have a registrar and a focal person. And believe me, you are going to believe through this exercise we launched that indeed NUP is a mass party, a mass political party we are having in Uganda. Leave alone the lies that were trended by NRM, that from their member registration process, they registered 18 million NRM supporters. That was a blatant lie.
You mean the country is such a number?
That was a blatant lie. Why am I calling it a blatant lie? Don't forget that in the last process of registering national voters by the National Electoral Commission, it registered 17.6 voters countrywide. So NRM seems to be saying that all the voters registered have registered as members of NRM.
The population has grown so fast, and yeah, many have gone above the 18, they have registered as voters. So
you see, but still, if you are to register such a number in the country, that exercise has had to be felt by the population. Where did you see lines of people registering for NRM to have such a number? The media, all the medias we followed, trying to portray what is happening in during that exercise. They were like giving reports that people have not turned up. And the agents, their registrars who are conducting the exercise were also like people are coming in low numbers. They were showing 2-1 pages where they are filled members. So for them coming up to lie with numbers, it cannot give them good results. Our exercise being launched, you are going to see people coming in, people registering, and that will make you realize that indeed NUP is a mass party.
Okay, that's about the NUP registration. And as I wind up this show, I want us to briefly talk about, we had the Labor Day being celebrated on the 1st of this very month of May, and the national celebrations took place in Fort Portal, where the president of this country happened to preside over the function. And he made a statement in his speech and said the problem is the unemployment here in Uganda is not because of any other reason but lack of vision by the people, the unemployed. And if you talk of lack of vision and people being unemployed, automatically to drive you directly to the youths, because the youths make the highest population of this nation, and they also make the highest population of those who are unemployed. So I don't know whether there is justification for the fact that the youths of this country just lack a vision, and that's why they're unemployed. Or I saw he also said these youths or people who are going out to work in Saudi Arabia, going to Qatar, going to Germany, it's uncalled for, and he feels they're supposed to remain in the country and do farming.
You see, Museveni, sometimes he tells the truth unsteadily when he is not ready to tell the truth. He has always been calling himself the vision bearer of the country. So if he comes out now start quarreling with the citizens that they lack a vision, where is that vision that he has always been mobilizing them around?
Maybe they refuse to buy his vision.
So then he should quit and let them have someone who can bear their vision. It is a constitutional mandate of the government to create employment for its citizens. So if he comes out to start now blaming the citizens who have started trying to create options for employment, those who are now taking an option of going abroad in Qatar, Saudi and other countries to create an alternative option for employment, then that means that he has failed on his duty. Though for the countries who have had good governments with good vision bearers, they have set what we call employment policies. What is our employment policy in Uganda? Do we have any? In the countries whose aim is to promote the economy of the country, they have gotten the economic policies. What is our economic policy in Uganda? Take an example of Dubai or the United Emirates League. Their policy is to develop the 3 T's. That is transport, trade, and tourism. And all their resources are concentrated around that. And that's how they have managed to empower and develop their economy. And it is not just said in words, but it is seen. Every person, wherever he is world over, when he thinks of touring, Dubai comes first. Traveling, the Emirates transport system comes in. Then good accommodation facilities go to Dubai. It has been deliberate. But what is it that which policy are we deliberating ourselves as Uganda? Nothing.
So the whole country lacks vision.
The leadership, the country has the vision. If Museveni gets off the control of resources and the taxes that we pay, then the country can keep on the right track of its vision. In the previous governments, those policies were there. For example, in the policy of building the economy of the country around agriculture. By the time I started P3, we used to question what are the cash crops of the country. And the answers were clear. That was coffee and tobacco. Today, if my son or daughter is being asked the same question, that what is the cash crop of Uganda? Which is it? It was deliberate to make coffee and tobacco the cash crops of the country. By developing the supportive systems to agriculture. For example, they introduced the cooperative societies, whose duty were to organize, mobilize and organize the farmers. Then they introduced the cooperative banks, whose duty was to support the farmers financially to have their farms well organized and developed. Then they had cooperative marketing boards, whose duty was to create markets and set prices for the for the products, agro products.
By the way, talking about cooperatives, I know one cooperative, the Munghesi Cooperative Union (BCU), that has under the chairmanship of Nandala Fabi.
Yes.
And
do you see how it is organizing the farmers?
Yeah, but the thing is, those years, farmers by then who belonged to the cooperative could
developed by industrialization, and he discouraged agriculture in favor of industrialization,
which he has tried to implement.
Yes. Now tell me, what is it industrial that we are having on the world market? Because with the previous governments, we had coffee and tobacco on the world market.
You still have coffee. You still have coffee.
After 40 years, now he's back. He's putting in the reverse gear to promote the agriculture and to promote coffee to represent us on the world market. But so that is how Museveni has killed this country.
Don't you think he has tried to change something? Because currently we've seen the presidential hubs right now the regional, and then I saw the other day that they're looking at having them almost at every district having a presidential hub.
You see,
training people's skills.
For someone who has ruled the country for over 40 years, we could be talking by fact results at hand.
But it's also
But
many
if you say
from the program.
they think and they have a plan,
they have implemented that. I've seen, yes. I've seen some youths who have benefited from the program.
Why do you think that he would be, if it was really that they have implemented, you wouldn't be seeing Ugandans, young ladies and men taking flights to go for employment abroad, to go to clean utensils in Saudi Arabia, to go collect eggs in Japan. You couldn't be seeing that. There would be already employment if those hubs were in the country. But the hubs are only in thoughts. They're on papers.
They are there.
They're on papers.
They're there because I've really seen one.
So the years
this
under Museveni's leadership has been more of a curse to Ugandans than a development.
Absolutely.
That's what I can.
Okay, that's all you can say. But I've seen hubs, like I've seen one in Akawa, I've seen a hub at Lozera prison. So they're there and they're functioning. But maybe it also just to, I don't know how I should refer it to, but the president talking of people necessarily shouldn't be necessarily be opting to going to countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and at the same time the government receiving a lot of money from these very people who are going outside the country to work. Part of the budget is financed by the money that is being taxed from these people who are going out. So I don't know which chemistry is in between.
Museveni's complaint is unrealistic. Why? There is a project called the wealth creation thing.
Operation
Wealth Creation, headed by his brother Salim Saleh.
Yeah.
I am aware that it is one of the organizations that is in that business, external labor business.
Yes, true.
So if it is in the government, one of the government's project is to see people getting employment abroad, and it is recruiting on a daily. How could Museveni, the head of the government, now come out to complain on such a system? Is he for real, or is just pretending? Yeah.
So that's
he's just a pretender. You get it?
We can't say no.
And it is in their interest, and they work for it, to see more people, more Ugandans flying out of their country. The more you fly out of your country, the more they import non-citizens. We see the number of Eritreans wherever you go, the Somalis wherever you go, the Congolese, and the more those foreigners comes in exchange of the indigenous people, the more they are able to extend their dictatorship, their leadership, or the longevity of their leadership. How can you see an Eritrean protesting on a street because of the electric load shed?
Of course they can't.
Can an Eritrean protest because of increased tax system, or because of bad laws? So the more you decrease the indigenous people in a country, the more easy you find to lead it. So
there is a friend of mine who made fun of me just last week, and we were passing in some area near, it's called Sambia Chirombe. Yeah, and then he was like, this area is still under colonization. Still colonized. We don't know when they are receiving independence. And we just tried to connect it to that, and I realized, okay.
Why was he carrying such a...
I think because of that, because I think I also saw a post some few weeks ago, they made, it was a bit funny, but it was communicating a lot of things that the government has to come out and really take action, because somebody made some image and then made some brown people around and then put someone dark person in the middle, and was like, so this tiny one who is being squeezed is the Ugandan in the middle. And I think the government should come and take action. Otherwise, that has been Habib, Buwembo. Maybe you say just your last words to your people, and then...
My last word is that we should all raise up to work for the Uganda that serves all of us. All of us. And that is the new Uganda we are talking about, where we can all enjoy from the taxes that we pay, where we can all enjoy from the resources that were endowed by the Creator. In other words, as we are speaking today, there is just a section, a handful of people who are enjoying the taxes we are paying, the likes of our Mongo, the Nabanjas, the Museveni and the family, and the rest of us, we are just in suffering.
That's Habib Buwembo for you, and he's done. I've been with today. I know you had missed him, but I think you've got to get him today, and we expect to have him back next week on Wednesday. We shall be with him and talking about several issues. Now, to my colleagues, the journalists celebrating the World Press Freedom Day, I send you greetings, and I say please keep up, and also send a message as a journalist to the government of Uganda that please talk to your security operatives. They really mistreat the gender, they really mistreat the professionals, they mistreat those guys, the journalists, they mistreat us. We've seen this, it is evidential. There is justification for this statement because we've seen men being caned, men being tortured while at work. I know excuses can be given, and of course we say it's because they don't do their things or they don't do their job professionally, but at least we've observed this. So I also raise a voice on behalf of my fellow journalists that please, the government should look into that, because we are the mouthpiece of our society. We bring a lot to your knowledge that you're not aware and that you have become reluctant about, and always call you upon to take action. So please look for a way you engage with the journalists, look for a way you engage the fourth estate in your governments to ensure that we have a society that is free, a society that is well informed, just like we always do here, that we have a society that's well educated, because that's what we the journalists do. We educate, we inform, and always at some point try to drive the masses or the society to where we always want them to go. So please, it's a message from me as Jacob Junior Munghesi, and as a message from here at PowerPoint Show and at MGD TV. Till next time, we meet.